Hi everyone. Welcome back to Amira's English Learning Podcast, where we help you improve your English skills and learn useful life tips along the way. I'm Amira, your cheerful host, and I'm so glad you're here with us today. And of course, I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Khuram. How's it going, Khuram?
Hi, Amira. Hi, everyone. I'm doing fantastic, thank you. And I'm really excited about today's episode. We're talking about something that I think everyone struggles with at some point: how to stay focused while studying. It's so important, but also really tricky, right?
Oh, absolutely, Khuram. Let's be honest, staying focused is harder than ever these days, with so many distractions around us. Phones, notifications, social media, Netflix, it's all calling for our attention. But don't worry, everyone. Today, we're going to share 6 practical tips that will help you stay focused and make your study sessions super productive.
That's right. And the great thing is, these tips are easy to follow, so you can start using them today. So, grab a notebook, settle in, and let's get started with tip number 1.
Tip 1. Create a study schedule. Okay, tip number 1 is, create a study schedule. Now, this might sound simple, but trust me, having a plan for your study time can make a huge difference. When you plan ahead, you're less likely to feel overwhelmed or waste time deciding what to do next.
That's so true, Amira. I think we've all been there. You sit down to study, and instead of starting right away, you spend 20 minutes figuring out which subject to work on first. A schedule takes away all that uncertainty.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be super complicated. You can use a planner, a calendar app, or even a piece of paper to jot down what you want to study and when. Make sure to break it into manageable chunks. For example, instead of saying, study history, you can write, review World War II notes or practice essay questions.
That's a great idea. And don't forget to include breaks in your schedule. I recommend the Pomodoro technique. You study for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, and after 4 rounds, you take a longer break, like 20 or 30 minutes.
Yes, the Pomodoro technique is fantastic. It keeps your brain fresh and prevents burnout. I personally like to use those short breaks to grab a cup of tea, stretch, or even just close my eyes for a few minutes. What do you do during your breaks, Khuram?
Oh, I like to do something active, like a few push-ups or jumping jacks. It gets my blood flowing and helps me feel energized for the next session. Alright, shall we move on to tip number 2?
Tip 2. Find a quiet, comfortable study space. Yes. Tip number 2 is, find a quiet, comfortable place to study. Your study environment can make or break your focus. If you're in a noisy or messy space, it's so much harder to concentrate.
Absolutely, Amira. For me, the library is the perfect place. It's quiet, clean, and filled with other people who are also studying. That kind of atmosphere really motivates me. How about you? Where do you like to study?
I usually study at home, but I make sure my space is distraction-free. My desk is always tidy, I have a comfortable chair, and there's plenty of natural light. Oh, and I like to keep my water bottle and some snacks nearby so I don't have to keep getting up.
That's so smart. I think the key is to create a space that feels like it's meant for studying. If you're studying in bed or in front of the TV, it's too easy to get distracted. What do you think?
You're absolutely right, Khuram. And if you live in a busy household or a noisy neighborhood, consider using noise-canceling headphones or playing some soft background music to help you focus. Some people like listening to instrumental music or nature sounds. It's all about finding what works for you. Tip 3. Keep your phone away. Now, tip number 3 is a big one. Keep your phone away. Let's be honest, our phones are probably the biggest distractions when we're trying to study. Notifications, social media, and even random thoughts like, "Oh, I should Google this," can totally ruin your focus.
Oh, you're so right, Amira. I think we've all had that experience where you pick up your phone to check one thing, and suddenly, 30 minutes have passed, and you're watching cat videos on YouTube.
Exactly. That's why I recommend putting your phone on silent and keeping it out of reach. If you can, leave it in another room. Or, if you need your phone for studying, use apps like Forest or Stay Focused. These apps block distractions and help you stay on task.
I love the idea of using Forest. It's so creative. You grow a virtual tree every time you stay focused, and if you use your phone, the tree dies. It's a great way to stay motivated and even have a little fun while studying.
Totally. And for people who struggle with self-control, there's also the Do Not Disturb mode, which silences all notifications. The key is to remove temptation, so you can fully concentrate on your studies. Tip 4. Set small, achievable goals. Tip number 4 is, set small, achievable goals. This is such an effective way to stay motivated and avoid feeling overwhelmed. When your goals are too big, it's easy to get discouraged.
That's so true. Instead of saying, "I'll study for 5 hours," break it into smaller tasks, like, "I'll finish 1 chapter" or "I'll review 10 vocabulary words." It's much easier to handle, and you get a sense of accomplishment with every task you complete.
Exactly, Khuram. I like to write my goals as a checklist. There's something so satisfying about ticking off each task. And every small win gives you the confidence to keep going. It's like building momentum. Tip 5. Use active learning techniques. On to tip number 5. Use active learning techniques. Reading your notes passively isn't always enough. To really understand and remember the material, you need to actively engage with it.
I completely agree. One thing I like to do is quiz myself after studying. Or, I explain the topic to a friend or family member. Teaching someone else forces you to really understand the material.
That's a great method. I love using flashcards for this. They're especially helpful for memorizing vocabulary or key facts. Another technique is writing summaries in your own words. It helps you process the information on a deeper level.
Those are fantastic ideas, Amira. And for subjects like math or science, working through practice problems is one of the best ways to reinforce what you've learned.
Tip 6. Take care of your health. Finally, tip number 6 is, take care of your health. This might seem obvious, but it's often overlooked. If you're tired, hungry, or dehydrated, it's almost impossible to focus. Your brain needs fuel to function at its best.
Exactly, Amira. Eating balanced meals, drinking plenty of water, and getting enough sleep are all so important. And don't forget to take care of your body during study sessions. Stretch, move around, and take breaks to avoid feeling stiff or fatigued.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about mental health. If you're feeling stressed or anxious, it's okay to take a step back, breathe, and practice self-care. Studying is important, but so is your well-being. Recap. Alright, that's all 6 tips. Let's quickly recap. 1. Create a study schedule. 2. Find a quiet study space. 3. Keep your phone away. 4. Set small goals. 5. Use active learning techniques. And 6. Take care of your health.
Perfect recap, Amira. These tips might seem simple, but they can make a huge difference. Try them out and let us know what works best for you. We'd love to hear your feedback.
Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends who might need a little help staying focused. And as always, we'll be back soon with more helpful tips and fun conversations.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Take care of yourselves, stay focused, and happy studying. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.